at the 2004 and 2008 Olympics as a wrestler, while Gary Frazier was a high school football and track star.
Tonight is a grand opportunity for me, and I couldn't pass it up. This will be my first pro fight, and I just look forward to stepping in the ring for the first time as a pro fighter. The adrenaline will be pumping, but I'm going to use it to my advantage. Just keep my composure and stick to my game plan. Tonight will be a good night. What a win tonight for me would mean, it'd be tremendous to me. Stepping in the ring with a two-time Olympian and to defeat somebody of that caliber, it shows a lot for me, my character, and the things I'm willing to do. So I think it could definitely set some things up for me in the future.
And now joining us to the blue corner, standing at 6 feet 1 inch, he weighed in at 245 1/4 pounds. Raised in the traditions of wrestling and boxing, tonight he makes his professional MMA debut from Shawnee, Oklahoma. Please welcome the two-time Oklahoma State wrestling champion, Gary Frazier.
Frazier has been training MMA for 2 years. He told us he loves the spotlight. In fact, you can catch him singing some R&B versions of, well, some famous TV themes on YouTube. And for a guy who loves the spotlight, well, making his pro MMA debut here on Showtime, the spotlight couldn't be much bigger.
Well, it's a lot of pressure, but he said he couldn't pass this up. But to be successful against Cormier, he's got to look and find Cormier's chin, make every punch count and have a purpose. Got to use good takedown defense because we know that the single or the double leg takedown is forthcoming, and use the knee to try and catch Cormier on that big chin of his to get him to go out like a light.
Trains with UFC veteran Matt Grice, has been really working on his striking, and really an accomplished athlete, a 110-meter hurdles star, a two-time state champion in wrestling. I mean, this guy has athletics in his genes. And speaking of athletics in his genes, and I'm not talking about his Levi's, this next fighter, his opponent, could be the most accomplished wrestler ever to enter mixed martial arts.
What makes me different is my ability to control the match, control the fight. And for a big guy, I'm going to set a high pace and really try to put on exciting fights. I'm sure a lot of people do that, but I'm going to really focus on trying to make my fights really fun for the fans and exciting for everybody that's watching. What drives me is success. I want to be the champion. I want to be the best in everything I do. That drives me. And in any sport, any competition, you have to strive to be the best. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Tonight I'm ready to go, man. I've trained hard. I've worked extremely hard over the course of these 5 weeks, and I've been looking for this to happen, and finally the time is now.
Hey! Joining us to the red corner, standing at 5 feet 10 1/2 inches, he weighed in at 250 1/4 pounds. With a background in wrestling tonight, he also makes his MMA debut, fighting out of San Jose, California, by way of Lafayette, Louisiana. Please welcome the former Oklahoma State University wrestling star and two-time U.S. Olympian, Дэниел Кормье.
Cormier, an incredibly affable individual. We mentioned that he was a two-time Olympian. In fact, he was the wrestling captain at the 2008 Olympics, but unfortunately injuries precluded him from entering the competition.
But now he's healthy and training under Bob Cook at American Kickboxing Academy. Bob Cook actually banned him from kicking, so we know that he's going to be coming out throwing a lot of punches. He plans to set the tempo, and that will probably be a brisk one. He plans to take the fight where he wants it, and we know that will be to the floor, and stay focused and be ready and alert, because anything can happen in an MMA fight.
Man responsible for him getting involved in MMA, Muhammad King Molawal, in his corner. Pat, two guys making their pro MMA debuts. What's it like?
Well, I tell you what, you can get tunnel vision real quick, or you can seize the moment and become a star overnight. Cormier's been in big arenas in wrestling. He may be able to adjust to this a little better.
Cormier has definitely experienced his fair share of tragedy in his short life. In 2003, his 3.5-month-old daughter was killed in a motor vehicle accident. She is his guiding light.
My daughter's the reason I fight. My daughter's the reason I wrestled. You know, and she's the most beautiful girl in the world, Kaden Emery Cormier. She passed away in June 2003, and she's been my motivation ever since and always will be.
Obviously enters the cage with a heavy heart, but very open about the tragedy in his life. And really, she is his angel over his shoulder. And he says she's with her every single moment of every single day as we go to the tail of the tape for this opening bout, this heavyweight contest. And Pat, when we look at the numbers, what jumps out at you?
Well, Cormier is definitely a short heavyweight, but he's a super explosive guy and can cover the gap quickly, and he's going to need to because Frazier has 3 inches on him and a 5.5-inch reach advantage.
Let's now take you to the rules of combat. 3 judges will score each fight, and they will score each fight based on the 10-point must system. The winner of each round gets 10 points, a loser 9 or less, based on effective striking, grappling, aggression, and cage control. There is no kneeing, forearm, or elbow strikes to the head of a grounded opponent. Only the referee can stop the fight, and we are underway. 3 5-minute rounds in the heavyweight division. Both athletes making their professional MMA debuts under the bright lights of the Strikeforce Challengers series. And of course, with each having an incredible wrestling pedigree, I anticipate a stand-up war throughout this fight.
It happens a lot of times when 2 wrestlers go at it. They just decide to throw bombs.
I see that Frazier is using a lot of side-to-side motion, but he's still backing up. If he gets his back to the fence, it's going to be a problem.
Frazier looking to counter. He's definitely trying to cut angles and come over the top.
Cormier doing a good job, though, of keeping them against the fence. Inside leg kick by Cormier, and that was one thing he said we would not be seeing because, and he's a very open and honest fighter, and as he lands an overhand right, and it's Frazier going for the first takedown, immediately stuffed by Cormier with a nice knee up the middle. Cormier was telling us that he delivered a kick in practice, and Bob Cook couldn't stop laughing. He said, I will not be using kicks in this fight. Well, he's already been called a liar.
And Frazier, I mean, it's surprising to me. He's coming right after him with the wrestling attempts.
Well, a 2-time state champion in wrestling, 21 years of age, youth is on his side. Now, Cormier immediately gets his back. Frazier is turtled up.
Frazier's got to relax right here. This is a new position for him because in this position with wrestling there were no strikes, but now he can strike. He's got to free up that left hand and start jackhammering that. He's not going to want to try and put his hooks in. I don't think his jiu-jitsu is that developed. He's going to try and smash his way. A lot of wrestlers come into MMA, and they work better when they work on the ground and pound.
On the undercard, we saw a couple of matches end in the Darce choke from this position, and I know that Дэниел Кормье was telling us he's a big fan of the Darce and the arm triangle choke, but right now it's good old-fashioned ground and pound, delivering those hammer fists. Frazier just shelling up, trying to defend.
You really don't want an Olympic wrestler on your back like this for very long. I mean, he's going to make you carry his weight the whole time. He's going to wear you out. Frazier really needs to get moving, and you know, you're not going to win a fight by just standing there. He tried to come up awful tough with an Olympian holding you down.
Frazier doesn't seem to be too confident in his guard yet because he hasn't even tried to pull guard.
He gets back to his feet, but immediately is on his back, trying to up kick. Cormier, though, showing some poise for his first fight.
Absolutely, and you saw the power of Cormier there when Frazier tried getting up. I mean, Cormier just like a bear, just pawed it down to the ground.
Guard, well done, and now is in side control. Cormier, standout wrestler at Oklahoma State University, a program that's produced the likes of MMA great Randy Couture, Mark Munoz, Jake Rochelle, Don Fry, and so many others.
Trap that right arm of Frazier. Now he's going to start blasting with that left hand. Frazier's in a problematic position because he can't block the punches.
Almost got him in the crucifix here, and just, yeah, like you say, an open target is ahead, and now riddling the body with those shots. And Cormier, very focused, very calm and content, busy systematically picking apart Frazier.
Yeah, I mean, he's putting it on Frazier, and you can see Frazier's youth coming out here. I think he's a little shell-shocked by what he's feeling, the power that he's dealing with right now.
Frazier didn't even try to go to guard when he was on his back, and now he's going to start eating those knees to the body.
Cormier started boxing 2.5 months ago in Tulsa. He's been at American Kickboxing Academy in San Jose for the past month, and now it looked like he was almost transitioning into a rear naked choke. Frazier just running away for dear life. Meets him with the right hand, and that backs up Cormier momentarily. Now Frazier loading up with the right.
Frazier telegraphing that right hand.
And he has his hands way low.
I think Frazier's a little angry right now. He's a little tired of getting beat on.
Frustrated.
He's ready to come back.
And I like what I see out of Cormier in the stand with you guys.
Frazier seems to be the more tired of the two right now. At 21, he's got youth on his side, but Cormier at 30 is a very youthful character.
I think speed and technique-wise and reach-wise, I don't think Frazier realizes he actually has the advantage.
Only 5 pounds separated the two at the weigh-in, although Cormier looks a lot bigger than Frazier.
Cormier doing very well with his jab. I think he should go back to that.
Frazier almost shaving Cormier's whiskers with that right. And we are at the end of round 1.
Okay? I need you to listen to me. Look at me. I need you to keep them hands up, all right? I need you to use that right hand. You're only one punching. You got to put them together, okay? Don't let this guy in the fight, okay? You're doing great.
Here you see Cormier's got both arms trapped. Frazier can't get out of there. He's applying a lot of pressure. Beating on the body. People don't realize if it doesn't hurt you, it changes your breathing patterns, which gets you more tired by doing that. There's Cormier throwing a couple punches at him, chasing him across the ring. Couple right hands landed there by Frazier. I think Frazier got a little bold there. Landed a couple punches, I think gave him some energy actually.
Round 2, sage advice from Bob Cook in Cormier's corner, asking Cormier to keep his hands up, deliver more than just a single shot. How did you score the opening round fight, Professor?
I would have to say that opening round was a 10-9 round for Daniel Cormier. He controlled the action, delivered more strikes. Frazier didn't look good when he turned his back and ran. That's a no-no. I mean, at least try for a clinch or something or pull guard. But turning and running, judges don't like that.
Frazier pops a nice-looking jab.
Frazier looks terrified here.
He's backed up along the fence again. Pawing jab by Cormier, overhand right, now in the Greco-Roman clinch. Frazier just trying to push him away. Now dropping the level for the single leg as Cormier can. Frazier holding onto that fence, watch out. That's illegal.
Hey, he's doing what he had to do.
Yes, but then there he's off. I mean, I know he's a track star, but this isn't a track meet.
Frazier's got to realize, I really think the kid can land some punches if he put 3 or 4 together. He misses the first 2. The third and fourth is going to be there.
Nice left hand by Cormier. Moving side to side. Frazier unloads an overhand right. Ooh.
That was a good kick.
Little south of the equator, but right.
Yeah, and you can see Cormier, you know, although he's a world-class wrestler, this is a different world for him a little bit. Now he's got bombs coming back at him for real for the first time.
And now he continues to dish out the punishment along the fence. Frazier with the right hand. Now we've got a quick exchange. Back to the Greco-Roman clinch.
This has suddenly turned into a fight.
Body lock by Cormier, looking for the big takedown. Nicely blocked by Frazier.
That was beautiful balance. That kid is a good athlete.
You can see him taking in deep breaths, and the crowd here at the Spirit Bank Event Center enjoying every single second of the action. Frazier from Shawnee, Oklahoma. Cormier attended Oklahoma State University. Now Cormier, top position on Frazier.
Yeah, he threw the knee and slipped, as you saw, and I think that was probably more from fatigue than anything else.
He's in the open half guard, dropping those long-range hammer fists, and now Stephen Quadros, he's playing the drums on his face.
He really is. I would have to say that was almost a parallel, left, right, and a right, left, right, right. Frazier, I think, is fighting a little bit too much on adrenaline, and it's going to really be hard for him if this goes to the third round to continue and be defensive at all.
Pat, you've trained a lot of champions. His pro MMA debut, he is still just dipping the toes into the water, so to speak, in terms of training as Cormier postures up. What do you think of Cormier's performance thus far?
You know what? I think he's doing pretty well. First time in the ring on national TV, on Showtime. I mean, most kids would be completely petrified.
No, I'm really impressed with his overall composure. He is taking his time, biding his time, looking for the shots, and now in the full mount, dropping the lefts and the rights on Gary Frazier.
Frazier has got to buck at least once. Try and buck him off.
Nicely done, going to the body, opening up the head. And now Frazier gives up his back.
Hooks in.
A minute and a half left in the second round.
Frazier getting pounded on the ears.
And Frazier right now looks like the proverbial fish out of water. The referee stops the fight. You can slap some good old JR's barbecue sauce on Frazier. He is done.
More.
And we've got Cormier coming over to the broadcast area saying, "What's up, Moro?" I'll tell you what's up. Your hand is about to be up, raised in victory in your professional MMA debut. What a performance there, Pat.
Yeah, I think he fought very well, and I got to give it to Frazier. Frazier fought very well for his first time in the ring against an Olympic wrestler like that. I mean, Cormier's a physical freak, very powerful guy. Frazier did a good job.
Lafayette, Louisiana, stand up. Northside High School, what's up? GDP, Team Thirsty.
And Frazier may have tasted defeat in his pro MMA debut, but as you mentioned, a very valiant effort. Two heavyweights going at it to kick off this edition of Strikeforce Challengers Series. And again, Дэниел Кормье, the two-time U.S. Olympic wrestler, wins his MMA debut.
Here's Frazier with cat-like balance for a big guy. Look at that. He tried the hip tossing, then he tried the trip. Frazier defended both of them. That's impressive stuff. I mean, you can tell he's a state wrestling champ. You know, with Cormier on top of it, you know, he's got a lot of power. Those punches are hitting a lot harder than you think. You could feel the impact of them all the way over here cage side. He does hit very hard. Here's Cormier taking his time, mounted, putting a little pressure across the throat. People don't notice that a lot of times. Adding that little bit of choke now and then, pressure, dropping the bombs, and realizing that if he put it on him here, ref's going to jump in and stop it as he got his back. The power of Cormier's hips there. I mean, putting the hips in there with the legs in with an Olympic wrestler on you, it nearly break your spine a lot of times.
Now to make it official, let's bring you up to the cage. And once again, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 3 minutes, 39 seconds in round number 2. Our referee in charge, Kevin Nix, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of TKO in his professional debut, Дэниел Кормье.
Describe the feeling of winning your first MMA fight on live TV.
Hey, I'm gonna ask the crowd, was that exciting or what? I come to fight. This is what I chose to do, so I gotta leave it out there on the mat. Thanks to Gary Frazier for coming out. I wanna say thanks to my coach, John Smith, my family for coming up, and all my sponsors.
Okay, now, break it down for us how you took the victory.
Gary threw some good jabs, cut me, I wasn't moving my head enough, as Bob Cook says, but then I landed some big right hands, wasn't throwing it enough because I kind of injured my wrist about a week and a half ago, so if I could have really threw the right hands, one of my best weapons, I would have finished him earlier, but I just kept pressuring him, So like I said, I'm going to set the pace of the fight.
Daniel, congratulations. Give it up for him one more time. Daniel Cormier. Cormier.
Go hotel. Come party with DC, baby. Let's go.
Daniel Cormier victorious in his professional MMA debut, and somewhere his daughter is smiling down upon him. We are just getting started here at the Spirit Bank Event Center, and coming up, it's a catchweight clash between Thomas Longacre and Travis Kalanick. Well, football season is underway, so you do not want to miss the award-winning Inside the NFL on Showtime.
Every week, they gather the faithful to embrace their rituals.
Somebody's O has got to go in this 147-pound catchweight contest between local rivals Thomas Thunderkick Longacre and Travis the Dark Knight Kalanick.
Travis the Dark Knight Kalanick. I love fighting the hometown advantage, you know, type thing, because here the one, both of us are local, so it's more of like a town divided, so you're gonna have like half people cheering for him, half people cheering for me, but it's gonna be good once the bell rings and we start punching each other in the face. No matter who's punching or who's falling down, there's gonna be cheering, so it's gonna be fireworks. It'll be good. It's nice, especially because it's a bigger opportunity, bigger venue to fight on against another local guy with a real good record. I mean, both of us are undefeated. So for me tonight, the biggest thing is to walk away out of this fight with another win, because I don't like to put this much into training to come in and then lose a fight. So whenever I come to fight, I come to bring the fight.
And now entering to the blue corner, standing at 5 feet 7 1/2 inches, he weighed in at 146 1/2 pounds. With a background in boxing and jiu-jitsu.